All right. Hello, everybody. It is Friday, and you know what that means. TGIF, Andre from Heroes World, and here we are with Heroes World. Thank goodness it's Friday. You've survived another week, and that means my boy Jesse. How you doing, Jesse?
Not bad. How's everybody? How are you doing?
I am doing well because Friday is slowly, well, it's always been a great day of the week. It's just getting better.
Yes.
So we got the weekend to look forward to. We've got all our cool comics, gaming, nerd stuff to talk about. And hopefully, you guys at home have had a chance to delve into some of this week's great new comics. Or if you are a gamer, are going to get some gaming in, whether it's a card game or board games or video games, or if you're a toy collector, did you get out to go and hunt down some of the ever increasing new and great releases that are coming your way? So, as you know, Heroes World is a hobby shop in Markham, Ontario. And all of those things and more that I mentioned just now, we carry at the store. So, what's this show all about? Showcasing some of the great stuff that we've got in the store this week. Now, comics is my first love, my first passion, and I'm going to say probably that's one of yours too, right, Jesse? So why don't we
Yeah,
start with a rundown a little bit, right?
a little bit. I would say a very tiny bit.
Right on, right on. So why don't we start down with a rundown of what we have been enjoying this week in comics. So what have you read so far?
This week I've read The Me You Love in the Dark #4.
Ooh,
I
loved it.
Yes, it was really good. I think you're going to talk about it in a minute. I also picked up a new #1, New Burn. I think we got an image of that here.
Right
Um,
on.
by Chip Zdarsky, and I believe it is Jacob Phillips. Jacob Phillips.
Right. Yes, Chip Zdarsky's a Canadian fellow. Yep, really cool guy writing lots of great books. He's got Daredevil in the can right now. He's got a new series coming out for Marvel called Devil's Reign. Looks like it's a Daredevil centric Marvel crossover and several things at Image. And this is the newest one. What can you tell us about it?
So, how do you feel about police TV shows, police procedural shows, where they go out, they find a crime scene, they investigate, and they solve who did the killing? Do you like those shows?
Definitely. I have been known to watch a few police procedurals, and now it's kind of taken into kind of now there's a whole bunch of firefighter procedurals
Yes.
and other members who serve and protect like ambulance. So yeah, I am a kind of a sucker for that type of drama on TV.
Well, how would you feel about a private detective who goes out, who used to be a detective, but he quit the force, and now he's a private investigator for the mafia? How would you feel about that?
I think that sounds pretty damn original because I have never heard about a cop going to the other side. You hear about the dirty cops and the cops that work for them, but he's actually an ex cop working to investigate for the mob.
Yes. So his whole backstory from this first issue, he says, if I worked with the mob while being a detective, that would make me a dirty cop. Now I'm just a private investigator making money.
Hmm.
So the whole
Okay.
premise of this is he's got all the mobs in, I believe it's New York City, I can't remember, working as kind of one, but not one. So say a mob, one mafia comes in, goes on some other mafia's turf, kills somebody. He goes in, investigates, comes up with a solution that both parties like,
Ah.
and then they act on that. So in
So he's
this one,
kind of like a little bit of
sorry,
like a mediator or something.
a mediator, cop, detective, yes, yeah.
Nice.
So in
Nice.
this one, somebody stole cocaine, and then they were found dead, and it was the nephew of one of the mafia members, and they come to a conclusion that they find the killer, and they say, well, the mafia could kill you, but we're not going to. We're going to send you to jail. Don't worry, you'll be protected, but you're going to serve your sentence and spend life in jail.
Hmm.
Really interesting premise, really different. I'm excited to see where it goes, and like I've been reading Daredevil for years now. I love Chip Zdarsky as a writer. I was introduced to him actually on the Be My Heroes show you guys did a year ago.
Yeah.
But ever since that, I've really liked Chip Zdarsky, and I'm all for all his new work.
Nice. So what type of how would you determine the art? Like was this more of like a street level feel, more grim and realistic? Did it have a lot of dialogue? Was there any action scenes in this book?
There's all of that. There's here I got some panels for you to see. It's got a soft pastel-y kind of look to the artwork. Sorry, I can't see if the image is up there. Is it?
Oh no, let's put that image up there. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Boom.
It's got a pastel-y kind of look to it, and very soft colors, very bright, I would say.
Yeah, for kind of what you've described as a crime fiction book, it definitely does not look like that. But yeah, that's some great detail, very realistic in there. Let's go to this other panel here. So we're seeing more of his figure work, and that it's definitely NY. There's the New York City Police Department police car in the background there. So get some of the brownstones.
There's no real dark colors. They're more pastel-y, kind of bright pinks, purples, soft colors. But then when we did get a little action scene here, and then it goes a little brighter, bolder, vibrant colors.
Yes.
This was a good scene too. He goes to investigate at a nightclub, and the bouncer won't let him in. And he's like, "Do you know who I am?" Because everybody knows who he is, because he's like a mafia cop, let's just say. But no, I love the artwork. I love the way the story's going so far.
I really like
the whole end. So, yeah.
I really like this page because as you were talking about the colors, like look at how the artist or the colorists have used red. So you've got red is where the action is, like this guy opening the door and he's in red. Next panel, the red light coming from the door accenting. Then we've got red on the gun handle, red on the strike on the hand with the I guess it looks like a baton, and then red on the other. So that's some really good like it's drawing your eyes to it. So yeah, that's definitely a book I'm gonna check out. And once again, here's the cover. That's Newburn by Image Comics, written by Chip Zdarsky with art by Jacob Phillips. So on this kind of crime, let's say crime theme, I delved into a book this week that I have very fond memories of, and I really like the character. The character and the comic was made into a TV show that it was short-lived, and it wasn't as good as the comic. And that comic I want to talk to you guys about this week is The Human Target. Human Target is written by Tom King, and art is by Greg Smallwood. Now, if you guys can see this cover, you see a well-dressed man. That happens to be Christopher Chance, and we see the arms or hands of superheroes. We've got Batman, we have got a Green Lantern ring, we have got I think it looks like Martian Manhunter, and there's a couple other spoilers in there. I'm not going to go into it, but if you know your comics, you know that looks like Blue Beetle's blaster. And this book is about a character, as I mentioned, his name is Christopher Chance, and he's what they call a reverse assassin. If somebody is going to put a mark on your head, he becomes you. He becomes the human target. You cannot tell the difference between that character and who Chance is. Chance basically becomes literally the target. Nobody's going to be able to tell the difference. And once that assassination fails, you now know who was trying to kill you because Christopher Chance stops him. So, first caveat about this book, I am not the biggest fan of Tom King's writing. But as a shop owner, I have to read everything, and I got to give everything kind of a chance, right? But also because I like this character, the Peter Milligan run on from Vertigo Comics years ago on the Human Target was so good, and I really enjoyed it that I'm like, I got to give this book a chance. So what did I think about this book? A really decent start. I don't quite think Tom King nails it right away, However, the setup for the book and the art is beautiful. It's DC's Black Label, so if you are into more of that dark and grittiness to it, you're really going to get that story. Here's an excellent example of the art, and like I said, Smallwood's nailing that kind of clean, kind of, it's almost got that 60s vibe of this, private investigator look and stuff like that. And Christopher Chance, in this book first issue, he becomes the target because somebody wants to kill Lex Luthor. He stops that assassination attempt, but that initial assassination attempt might have actually been a cover or a feint, because Christopher Chance ends up getting poisoned while on Luthor's territory, on Luthor's, where he gives this press conference, and that poison is slowly killing Christopher Chance. A lot of good cameos in this first issue. We've got Dr. Midnight. Christopher Chance goes to him to help. What's killing me? Where's this poison from? And here's where the twist gets really cool and why this cover is so appropriate. Because those are all the members of a little known team. Maybe you guys recognize it. Maybe if you're a longtime comic reader, you kind of are putting the vibes together and stuff like that. But that is none other than the Justice League International. All right. Wow. That is the team of Justice League characters that was put together. It was a very popular book, but it was kind of like the Justice League B team. And the connection is that possibly one of these members might have been going to kill Luthor, because a radioactive isotope that every member of the Justice League has on them from a mission in space is partly a residual effect on that poison in Christopher Chance's system. So I thought it was a brilliant way to bring that in. Again, I'm not 100% sold on it, but it's because I usually like the ground level of Christopher Chance stuff, but this is bringing him right into the superhero realm. And hey, I love me some superheroes. So I'm going to see if Tom King can actually stick the landing on this one. That is going to be difficult, because I really feel that he has great premises when he starts, but just sometimes just flounders, wishy-washy. He gets spaghetti legs, and the books kind of peter off. But maybe I'm just being too hard on the guy. He's got lots of projects under his belt and stuff. So if you like Christopher Chance, if you know the Human Target from the TV show or from the previous series, I would definitely recommend this particular book. And again, I probably say at least it's worth it for the art alone. I really did dig that stuff.
What about for new readers? Sorry, what about for new readers? Is it?
Oh no, for new readers, it's amazing. Like, that's the one nice thing about DC's Black Label. They pick a character, and even though it's kind of like maybe this off universe, like, because none of its continuity, they do a really good job of making these stories self-contained. They're not going to explain absolutely everything, but you're never going to feel like you're totally in the dark, as if you picked up an ongoing series at issue Spider-Man number 74 or 875 if they're using legacy numbering. So it's definitely a reader-friendly book if that's what you're looking for. But now we're at that part of the show where Jessie and myself, sometimes because we read so many books, there's got to be a melding, and we pick our comic spotlight of the week. That's a book that blew both of us away and came out this very week. So without further ado, let's look at the Heroes World comic book spotlight. And this week, that spotlight is DC Comics' Dark Knights of Steel. That's right. You are correctly looking at Batman holding I'm going to say it, a nice two-handed sword in armor, and you see Kal-El behind him, you see Alfred Pennyworth, you see Harley Quinn, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. This is a limited series brought to us by the fabulous Tom Taylor, and I have not come across this artist's art before, but it is definitely on my radar now, and that is Yasmin Putri. Fantastic art. Really complements the writing, really complements this world that they're building. And let's talk a little bit about Dark Knights of Steel, our comic book spotlight. First up, I'm going to say it's definitely an Elseworlds. DC has not put Elseworlds on the title card or the title page, but it is definitely not the Earth that we know. And you get to find that out right in the first couple of pages. It starts with the death of Krypton and the launching of that, fateful ship that brings young Kal-El to Earth. But the spin is both his parents come instead of just young Kal-El. Kal-El isn't even born. They rocket to Earth, they crash to Earth, and she is born after that crash. So we have the Elves, shall we say, Jor-El and Lara El are on Earth, and they have landed in what looks like medieval or ancient times, a fantasy setting. And my God, I gotta say, I love that premise right away. We always talk about, the concept of the what if or the else world, where how would this character change if something different happened in their origin? And this one was very, very good. The fact that both his parents survived changes this realm completely, and we have a whole new set of, shall we say, king or monarchy because of this. Love this concept. Yes, that is Black Lightning, and he is a king of one of the kingdoms, and he knows now that there is a threat, a shall we say, a balance of power has now being shifted. So it's kind of like, I don't want to, it's like the world isn't the same, because now you've got three basically magical, because it's fantasy, like to magical beings that are almost unstoppable, unkillable, right? And of course we get young Kal-El, and if you can read that is the Castle of El, and it looks very Avalon-esque, very like bright and noble and stuff. And we've got young Bruce Wayne there. Such a cool concept. I love Dungeons and Dragons. I love fantasy stuff. And this book just instantly scratched those itches and did it with class. I gotta say, it wasn't what I expected. It wasn't just a sprinkling, let's just put them in medieval armor and they will be the same characters. No, Tom Taylor has changed these things, and I love this book right from the get-go. What about you, Jesse?
I was skeptical at first. I thought it was going to be another bad title. Batman owns a comic book store. Every title is a Batman title.
Yep.
So I was a little hesitant about picking it up at first. Grabbed it, flipped through it. I was like, okay, medieval Batman. Let's see where this goes. I think it was page 4. Like you said, when the ship comes down and Superman's parents come out with the baby, I was like, okay, let's see where this goes. And then it just keeps escalating from there and there and there.
Yep.
Like Tom Taylor, very good comic book writer, but he must love fantasy stories as well, because he put together a comic book fantasy story. Hell, he could probably make a whole, the Ultimates? Marvel did Ultimates. He could probably make his own little offshoot of DC.
Yep.
With what he started here.
I 100% agree with that. This book it had so much. It's like it's bursting at the seams. Its pace is really good, although it's almost going too fast. This world is so interesting. I instantly want a whole imprint on it. It's super cool. And I hope it's a 12-issue series, so it's a year-long series. I hope DC knows how promising this could be, because I would love to see other limited series about some of these characters. So let's talk a little bit about what goes on in this book. And we've got Batman. He's basically like the leader of the royal guard for the king and the queen, and of course young Kal-El. They're probably looking very similar in age and stuff. And of course, if you know your Superman history, you know that one of his weaknesses is magic. So there has been a, shall we say, sighting of a banshee, and
Yeah.
Batman is going to ride out and slay this beast. And if you know from DC Comics, Silver Banshee is a mystical being, and that's who I'm thinking he's going to go face. Batman is going to go say Silver Banshee, typically a Superman villainess, right? But the reveal is, they get to the really interesting. We've got a picture of it here too. Like, he uses all his sidekicks, the Robins. They are his spy net. They know what's going on in the towns. They can slip in and slip out. There's the children. He's got Dick Grayson and Nightwing in there. We've got Drake, who's the Tim Drake is mentioned. Jason Todd is mentioned. The Signal is mentioned. We've got Stephanie is mentioned. Super cool. That's Alfred there drawing it. So they've cornered the Banshee, and it turns out to be none other than Black Canary. And what a cool fit, because she's got kind of like her siren song, her scream, right? Her canary cry. And I'm like, yo, that is super, super cool. And just again, how they utilized these different characters. They've all met at the they've converged on the place, and they're going in together. They make their battle plan. And of course, let's check out, look at how cool his armor is. Like, he did a bang up job creating it. That's King Jor-El there. Yeah, just a freaking amazing book. What a great start to the first one. Can't say enough about it. I think even if you don't like fantasy, or you don't think you like the Elseworlds, or you've never tried an Elseworld book, definitely pick this one up. As I said, the artist does an amazing job. These colors are fantastic, and it's definitely not your DC kind of regular Elseworld. I really feel it's a cut above. We've talked a lot about Tom Taylor on Nightwing, and Seven Secrets. Also, Superman, son of Kal-El. Sorry, I had a little bit of a brain fart there for a minute. Just so good, right? And again, look at these covers. Like, look at this. Like, damn. Like, I love reading a comic and being like, I never knew I wanted this style of book. And so it's just a pleasant surprise on something that could have been handled very, very hokey. Not that it's the same story, but I remember Marvel did a series called Fear Itself, and then all of the heroes and the villains got these giant like battle maces and battle hammers and stuff like that. But it just wasn't, to me, that well thought out. So this I think has all the everything comes together, all the pieces for a very good series. So I think it's definitely worthwhile. It totally deserves our spotlight. And over the coming months, I'm sure we're going to keep talking about this particular book, because it's just fan-freaking-tastic. I can't say enough about it. So far, Tom Taylor right now, man, I don't even want to tell you what his batting average is. This guy, every book that he's come out with in the past, 6 months to a year, I've absolutely loved. He has not slipped up yet. So I'm going to knock on wood for this guy. But again, if you're out there, I highly recommend anything and absolutely everything that he does. So that's our comic book spotlight. And this week, man, it's so great when so many great things come out all at once. We're going to go right into our graphic novel recommendation. And that is none other than the straight arm shooting Hawkeye. That's right, a brand new collection of Hawkeye has just come out right on time. Very timely release, because there's that new Disney Plus series coming out all about Hawkeye and introducing Kate Bishop. So why not get the complete? It's basically Hawkeye, the life and story of Hawkeye, Clint Barton, and Kate Bishop. And it is in graphic novel today. Jessie, I know this was one of your favorite reads in issues. What did you like about this series?
I liked how Hawkeye always seemed to be getting into trouble. every issue it seemed like he was doing this, doing that, but he never succeeded in it until the end. So here's a picture here. He's trying to apprehend this criminal and flies out a window, crashing into a pool down below, I believe. Like, what can I say? I didn't like Hawkeye before starting this book. After reading the first one, I was like, okay, let's see where this goes. Second one, I'm like, I'm all in. This is Hawkeye trying his best to do his job, never succeeding until the very end, and then saving the day. I believe Lucky was introduced in this. Lucky the dog. That's the dog's
Lucky
name,
the
right?
dog. Yes, that was a hilarious. We had a whole issue from the point
From
of
the
view of the
dog's
dog.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
And we really got to see Kate Bishop in this one too. I believe half the story is Clint, half the story is Kate, right? She's stepped up, led some adventures while Hawkeye just followed along and did what he did best, and that's shoot a bow and arrow. Right?
Yep. And like you say, get into lots of trouble. We were also introduced to the Tracksuit Mafia, right?
Tracksuit Mafia, yeah. Here's one picture I found. It's of Hawkeye just trying to. It looks like he's trying to defuse a bomb, right? Got all those red wires. It's Christmas time. Oh no, the bomb's going to explode. The clock's set, clocking down. But spoilers, he's just trying to plug in a VCR. He's trying to set up a sound system, and he's not doing a good job at it at all. So there's the whole adventure, there's the whole archery aspect, and then there's the whole quirkiness, funny bit. What about you? Did you like it?
I read this series. Big fan of Matt Fraction, and I absolutely love the artist David Aja. The book was very kinetic, like those pages that we showed you. But the nice thing is, it's street level Hawkeye. This is where Hawkeye needs to be, and it's basically like a day in the life of a superhero when he's not wearing his superhero costume. In this series, we do not get him in the Avenger Hawkeye costume. He's just out doing what he needs to do, and that is getting into a lot of trouble. Really great book. I very sincerely hope Disney Plus has used parts of this, and I know the MCU has been doing a fairly decent job of picking stuff from the comic books, but definitely I think this will add a lot of personality to the Hawkeye that we have in the MCU if they do this. And hopefully they, especially for Kate Bishop, like she's a strong character. She's fiery. And I hope, like I said, like she's just solid character. And I hope they use some of this. But definitely, if you guys are interested in Hawkeye, you have to pick this book up. Highly recommended. Copies just released today or on Wednesday at the store. And we've got lots of them because it's a very, very solid book. Can't say enough about it. It's really good. And like so, weird stuff. Like I said, there's an issue that's all about the dog, or from the dog's viewpoint, and it's just smart. And at those times, it's very, very smart. So definitely.
One other thing I really liked about it too was the artist. I don't think we have a picture of it, but the artist. This is where Clint goes deaf.
Yes.
So the artist draws out hand signals and kind of teaches you hand signals as you go along. So there'll be a panel of him doing the hand signal, and then we'll tell you what it means. It's just
what that means. Yep.
Yeah, it's really good, and I believe Disney Plus is adapting that story. Right, he's going deaf in this show coming out.
Yeah. Well, they're using that, and it's also around the Christmas time, so maybe we're going to get some of those quirky, funny moments and stuff. But that's something to look forward to.
Yes.
Definitely. All right. So there is our graphic novel recommendation for you. And as I was saying before at the top of the show, we are all about the games at our store as well. We're full hobby shop, and there's always new things to come in. But in this next segment, which we entitled This Is How We Roll, I'm going to talk about a big release coming up from Games Workshop. So let's cue it up. This is how we roll, TGIF edition, and we are talking about, drum roll, if we had a drum. There we go.
I don't know. Is it working?
How we roll. Heroes World Edition. We are talking about, boom, Games Workshop's brand new addition to Warhammer 40K Kill Team. And what is Kill Team, you ask? It is skirmish level combat between two elite forces trying to either secure some type of objective, deny an objective, protect an objective, mission based scenarios with elite fighting teams. In this edition of Kill Team, you are getting two factions added to the fray. For the Tau Empire, you are getting Pathfinders, which are their forward reconnaissance teams. These guys are decked out with all kinds of new and improved gadgets, new technology, new weapons, weapon attachments. These guys are tech to the hilt, all right? And who are they going up against? They are going up against the Sisters of Battle. These are the faithful warrior nuns of the Empire. And as you can see, these women are filled with righteous, holy fury, armed with close combat weapons, knives, swords, pistols, whips, clubs. Their faith gives them the power to meet righteous fury on their foes. These models that you see right here are brand new to the Sisters of Battle line, and the only place you're going to be able to get those is right here in this box. But not only are you going to get these figures, you're also getting new terrain pieces, a whole new book with new rules, new scenarios, new stats for everything. This is a game complete in a box. You're getting your dice, everything you need. But what makes this game super cool is just that when you play this, your special ops soldiers actually get better. They can get wounded in combat and they can get a negative trait, or they can succeed and get battle honors. And you can catalog all that and do a campaign system. Kill Team is made to be quick combat, so these games should take you anywhere between 30 to 45 minutes, but you're going to have so much fun building and painting these models. Myself, I'm a huge Tau player, so I'm looking forward to getting, there's a brand new sprue that gives you all those bells and whistles for the Tau, so I can't wait to get my box this weekend and delve into it. If you've never played Warhammer 40K, this is kind of like a small-scale taste of what it is. The rules are different, but all the models and scenery and dice you can carry over if you ever go and want to build up your little kill team into a force to play Warhammer 40K. I know you've got some Warhammer 40K, Jessie, but I've always said, maybe you start off with what you've got and build a Space Marine kill team, because you can field those guys with battle honors and you can duke it out with somebody else. You only need a squad of, I think, 10 to 20 guys, but you're only going to field about 10 at a time. So I know you could probably get that painted up and stuff, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure, I could get that painted up. Can you use other teams with this? Like if I got the Sisters of Battle pack with the Tau, could I put my Space Marines in there, or do you have to use the Tau and Sisters of Battle?
No, that's a great question. So basically what they're giving you, this is a 2-player starter, so 2 people can play. If you bought this, took it home, built it, you could play right there. But if you were buying it for only one side, let's say you wanted the Sisters of Battle and I had Space Wolves at home, I could make a Space Wolf kill team and play against your Sisters of Battle. Someone could bring in their Necrons or their Tyranids. Every faction in Warhammer currently has rules for kill team, and you can bring those to the game, as well as you can bring and use your other terrain pieces or maps and stuff. So this is, they call it like an expansion to the whole kill team line, which they brought out a couple months back, I think about 4 or 5 months ago. But yeah, all of the stuff is interchangeable and it all adds to that whole Warhammer universe. Basically, like I said, Warhammer is the large scale battles. This is some of those really important missions that you only send your best operatives out to do, and that's what they're trying to recreate here. So great box set, great value out there. So definitely check it out if you're looking for not only a good miniature game, but also great models and fantastic figurines to build and paint. But speaking of figurines, we always get new figures and stuff into the shop. And there's a little movie coming out
Very small.
this
movie.
weekend. And let's hit to our next segment: lights, camera, action figures. All right, what are we bringing new this week? And that is the Eternals, the Marvel Legends figures. That's right. You can see them on the silver screen and you can enjoy them and take them home. I know you've already bought one, Jesse. Let's take a look at who you picked up from this great line. Oh,
it is
nice.
Icarus. Yes.
Icarus. Yes.
Yes.
And
I don't think those pictures show the detail, but I'll see if I can get it. Like that looks just like Richard Madden.
Yeah, that it's a great likeness, and you get extra hands, get an extra head sculpt. Yeah. Let's see if we've got a closer picture of the figures out of the box here. Yeah, here we go. So there are the Eternals figures, and if you're familiar with the line, they also, if you buy the whole set, you get a Build-A-Figure, and that is going to allow you to build the 7th character in this line here. So yeah, Inhumans has got a lot of buzz. I'm glad they got the merchandise out right when the show is or movie is hitting. That's always a nice thing. Sometimes if it comes out too late, people miss it. Too early, people forget about it. So it's a nice sweet spot in there. But yeah, these figures look great. The cast looks great. Are you excited about checking out Inhumans, Jesse? Not Inhumans, Eternals. Sorry.
I think I'm most excited to see this one out of all the movies we've gotten this year, because it seems like a new, fresh idea, right? Like Spider-Man's coming out next month, but we've seen Spider-Man so many times.
Yeah.
The Eternals, the cast is huge. We've never seen this big of a, I guess, close-knit cast. These characters have supposed to be around for what, millions of years since Earth was...
thousands of years, millennia, yeah.
And I know, I would say, diddly squat about the Eternals, right? And I'm excited for something new, something fresh, and we'll see what happens. But I do like the Game of Thrones boys that are in there. It's going to be a little tiny Game of Thrones reunion too.
Yeah. No, I think it's an exciting time. We've got the theaters opening up. There's a lot of pre-sales for these movie tickets, so I think the Eternals is going to deliver at the box office, and I think it's going to do extremely well internationally. So hopefully, if you guys like that movie and you're a fan of Marvel Legends figures, you know where you can find them. You can hit us up, or find them at your local comic shop that may also be carrying those figures. So guys, there you have it, kind of a quick little overview of what we were excited for this week at the store. Lots of great things to check out. There's even more new stuff that comes out. But hey, let's hope that since it is the first day of the weekend, let's hope that you are going to get some time to do what you like for your hobby, whether it's reading comics, playing miniature games, board games, card games, video games. Maybe you're going to paint a model. Maybe you're going to go and check out some action figures. Make sure you do something to make your weekend absolutely great. Jesse, what else are we going to just drop two little things for next week's show? Because I'm super excited about a couple of things, and I wanted to give a spoiler about them. We are bringing back the Who Will Win, and we're going to do a villain-centric one, and I think this one is going to be really cool, so make sure you guys tune in for that. Also, we are going to spotlight another writer that doesn't do it for me in the comic section. But I said I always read stuff because I want to give you guys an honest opinion about comics. And again, I would not be a good retailer if I did not read everything and report back to you. So keep it locked here on Heroes World Online, and you can find us doing great content almost every day of the week. On Sunday, we've got the Heroes World podcast. On Monday, we've got the live Sidekick Show with John and Rob. On Thursday, we do our geek recap. So what I missed, doing geek news. And of course, Friday, the best day of the week. Jessie and myself are here live on Twitch with TGIF. So thanks for tuning in. If you like our content, please click that likes button, as well as maybe subscribing and pressing that bell to get notifications for whenever Heroes World is online. Thank you very much and have a great night.
Bye.